Recording has started. Yeah. So I was sharing that I wanted to give a different perspective to this overall conversation that we are having, right? Um, Now there are certain folks who are coming from the business background, uh, technical, semi-technical, or non-technical, right? And they have got their business perspective. They have got specific challenges, issues to deal with, and then there are people who are into software development. They are into hardcore software development, but still they are into different fields. Like for example, Vishu, Simran, Sumit, they actually belong to a different category. So they are more into manual and automation testing. Then predominantly there is a set of people who are actually into the development side. Now, how do we converge? How do we make sure that we are making most of it? So I was thinking that we will have a couple of different sections. One definitely focused on how to upgrade ourselves, how to build code, um, whether it is in terms of Python or implementing different data pockets or moving on to machine learning and so on. So that is something which is going to happen for sure. But at the same time, how do we make sure that the audience, since there is a different variety altogether, right? How are we managing it? So specifically for those who are coming from the sales world, right? How do we manage them? So incidentally, I see that Sohail has also joined. So I was wondering, since so Sohail, I was referring to the team that we have got different set of audience here, right? And we probably have to bring some generic content as well, which is beneficial for each and every individual, right? It's that in case if we
Yeah,
are bringing business perspective, that you, Rajesh, maybe Reshma, Mushtri, and Dev can bring onto the table. Uh, Even the devs, the tests, they will also get benefit out of it because they will know that okay, what kind of challenges the different verticals are facing. Say, for example, you come from banking background, right? And maybe customer churn, customer acquisition, right? Such kind of use cases are very predominant in that particular segment, right? So how is your organization handling that? So I was thinking that maybe we can bring that perspective also into the conversation, right? So today I see that there is a thin attendance because of Ganesh Puja in South states, and most likely some of the people will not be available today. So today we'll keep it very focused on what we have been planning. We'll keep it focused on the development side, but in the subsequent conversation we'll talk about the different verticals, what kind of solutions that are prevailing, and in case if we can also start talking about some of the tools that you can actually bring into your into your corporate, and make sure that you're taking best advantage out of it, right? I think most of the times, as of now, the way we are looking at AI, it is predominantly we are using GPT, and we are trying to get some responses. We are trying to generate some content out of it, which is great. The quality of GPT is increasing, and I think it is challenging lot many dimensions. But at the same time, uh, AI is just not restricted to GPT. It is not just restricted to generation of content. It is more than that, right? I'm sure that all of you understand and have an appreciation around it. So I think it is important that we do go for a well-rounded overall understanding of the subject, right? Apart from just implementing uh, um, I mean, just learning certain aspects and implementing them. So okay, so that will be the perspective henceforth. Will talk about how this can be structured, but maybe I will unleash this in the subsequent session when we have full house. And predominantly we have people from the business background. As of now, I see Rajesh and Sohail are the two people who actually can represent business. maybe so to some extent Simran too, but we need some more presence from the business side so that this particular group is also looks strong. Anyhow, so in the previous class we so far what we have done, we have actually covered the basics of AI. Um, I think we have covered the different dimensions. We picked up Python. We have done the overview of Python, and we also have spoken about why Python is so important. Um, in fact, yesterday only we were having a um, so at organization level we have launched the Genius Hour show where we are bringing different leaders, and at some point in time I will invite you to in some of those conversations where the subject is pretty much generic and it can benefit you too. So we're talking about what is the skill set that is required, and the answer was very straightforward that if you want to survive in the AI world, it is important that you work on your mathematics skill, you work on statistics skill, right? And then you work on Python. Python is something which is going to be the language, right? Uh, See, between us, we are going to have 4 different sessions on Python, right? And you understand that 4 different sessions will set you up where you can do certain things in Python, but you have to explore more, right? And I discussed in the previous conversation as well that you have to spend a lot of time understanding and grasping and be very, very confident in Python. Specifically for those who are coming from the dev background, Yogita and team, for you, Python is going to be non-negotiable, right? So we spoke about Python, its importance. We also spoke about the dev community or the open source power that it has. We also spoke about, we picked up some of the implementation part, the basics of Python, how it works out. And then we also spoke about one of the libraries, NumPy. So now the time has come that we actually move on. Today we'll talk about Pandas. We'll talk about a couple of libraries on the visualization layer, right? And we'll see how those are implemented. So this is going to be the scope of conversation for the day today. So let me share my screen. And from theoretical standpoint, I think we have covered Python, sorry, NumPy, and from practical standpoint, we need to see that how pandas or maybe different data frames are implemented. So people who actually have done coding in the past, um, I'm not sure, Rajesh, you have done that in your in the past, maybe in your previous organizations, but there is always a representation of a tabular structure in all the languages. In Visual Basic, it is record set. I think in other languages, similar kind of objects exist. In in Python, it's actually data frames, right? And data frames are provided in the library Pandas. So that is the practical importance. So in case if you are fetching data from any data source, be it database, be it from external sources, or maybe you are actually processing some APIs and you're getting some data out of it. Maybe it is in the form of JSON, right? And ultimately you have to put it into some kind of container and manipulate it. So that is where the data frames comes into the picture, right? So that is the importance of pandas. So some of the libraries that you from machine learning perspective, NumPy, Pandas, then from visualization layer, Matplotlib, Seaborn, Plotly. So these are some of the libraries that we are going to discuss, and sklearn. Sklearn actually has got all the functionality, most of the functionality, I would say, which is applicable to traditional machine learning. So when it comes to applying logistic regression, all those techniques, sklearn will come into the picture. So
These are all tools for coding, or like, are these all tools that is used for coding?
no, these are Sohail, these are libraries. Uh,
Oh, yeah.
so
Okay.
let me share my screen and tell you what it means.
Yeah, sure, sure, sure.
Okay. Yeah, so we were here when we uh, discussed pandas, right? So if you look at it, and I think what I can do is it's already executed. Let me clear all output cells. Yeah. Okay. So I was referring to this particular part. We have covered NumPy, the vectorization, how the different functions can be executed. But NumPy is also a library. So what happens? I mean, a library generally is a collection of different functions, features, abilities. So what do you do, Sohail? Uh, just like NumPy, there can be some other libraries which are already written. Some of the functionalities is already existing. So what you need to do, you actually refer to those libraries, uh, and the functionality is exposed through different functions. You call those features, those functions, right, and try to leverage in your own code that you're writing. So say for example, here we are importing this library NumPy, right? And we have created an object, and using this object, we are actually referring to a different functionality. Say here you are creating an array, you are creating a 1D array, 2D array, and so on. So this is how it works. So when I am referring to some of these libraries, be it sklearn, be it Matplotlib, Seaborn, right, which we will see. I mean, I know that these keywords may be overwhelming you, but we will pick up one by one, and we'll explore what all these libraries contain and how we can implement them. But essentially, these are predefined functions, you may say, predefined repositories that you can actually leverage in your code. Uh, I hope that answers you, Sohail.
Yeah, yes, yes. Thank you.
Okay, sure. Thanks. So up till now we have done NumPy, right? And I also wanted you to spend some time on this interface, Jupyter, and be comfortable using this. I think for long we will not be using it. Either we will use Visual Code, or maybe we will be using Google Colab. Again, depending on the situation you are in. In case if your organization is more on the Microsoft technology stack, you will move towards Visual. And in case if you are more into Google stack, then Google Colab. Google Colab has its own advantages, and Visual Source also has got its own advantages. And then there are some tools like Cursor AI, where you can actually generate code using prompts directly in the interface itself, and it can also debug. So it actually enhances your productivity. In any case, we definitely will be taking advantage of all the AI components. But it is important that in case if any kind of code which is generated by these different LLMs, in case if you have to debug, you need to understand how these functions work. And uh, um, what I have seen is that these codes, they will definitely help you be more than 50% productive. It is almost 60-70%, which is the number which is being quoted in the industry. But in case if you do not know that language, it is difficult. So somebody who is actually an expert in these languages, and they understand how the systems are integrated, how the different components needs to be created, for them LLM is a boon. For somebody who is actually learning these languages from basics, I think they should stick to basic. They should forget that okay, there is an LLM component available, for at least for some time, maybe for a month, right? Practice and understand these IDEs, how they function, the challenges are maybe the errors that you get and how you rectify them. Once you have an acquaintance with that, I think that is a time when you can actually bring prompt based coding stuff into play. Okay, so we will also do that, but at this point in time, we are trying to learn the basics. So we had covered NumPy, and I hope you are able to recall that we covered 2D, 1D arrays. We also covered metrics. We also done vectorization. Vectorization, we spoke at length that the advantage that NumPy provides you when you're dealing with vectorization. You don't you a single line of code where there are two different matrices. I mean, any kind of mathematical function can be executed, and it's a otherwise what you need to do is you have to iterate through the entire matrix, and multiple lines of code you have to write, and similarly the performance is also compromised because there are too many steps that are actually taken up. So we have done till this far, and yes, so now comes pandas. So in case I think pandas should be already installed in your system. In case if pandas is not available, the command to do that is go into an account of prompt uh, like this, and you may issue a command pip install pandas. Right, so it's already installed in my system, so it will call out that it is already satisfied. Right? Yeah, so it is there, but just in case if there is a issue, please install it like this. Uh, Now, last time also we discussed that there are when you're writing a piece of code, say I you need to use you add cells, and you need to code in that, right? So when you are adding a cell, the cell can be of different type, and it is decided here. By default, it is code that will be executed. Otherwise, you can use markdown and raw. This particular thing is a markdown where in a way you are using it just like Word. You are using it to emphasize certain things. And in case if you want to keep some data which is for reference purpose, that's how I use raw. Raw again is not executed. On the only thing that executes in this code is when a particular cell is marked as code, right? So let's go back and we can delete this too. Now, what we are trying to do here is that we have installed pandas, which is there in the system. We are creating an object PD from pandas, and this is a syntax to create uh, a data frame. So I spoke about that. What is a data frame, right? Data frame is a collection. It's a data which is available in the form of rows and columns, right? So here, what we are trying to do, and while you see this syntax, it is important for you to understand it. At the same time, uh, you will not be actually defining a data frame like this because most of the times the data is going to come from data source, and you will be fetching it and storing directly into data frames using different functions. Uh, Here, just for the sake of understanding, we are defining it, right? Uh, so here there are different columns, name, score, and subject, and this is the data that it has, right? And let's execute this to see how it is. Yeah, so it has created this uh, object which contains, I mean, the object name is df, and it contains these different uh, columns and rows. So I think this should be okay with you. Pretty straightforward. It has gone, yeah. Uh, you import the library, you define the data frame, and this is how you will use it. Right? Now, some of the functions which you can use, say for example, if you want to use, and this is the advantage when you are using libraries. Now, what we are trying to do here, we are trying to do a grouping based on certain parameters, and then we are trying to find mean nothing but average, right? So otherwise what you need to do, you have to go through, you have to write multiple lines of code where you try to identify uh, what all different subjects, what is the score, and based on that, right, you will try to calculate them. But it is in Python, I mean, not in Python, other languages too. They will also provide this such kind of functionality. But here, Pandas are the data frame is letting you calculate the mean using a single line of code. So when you when you do this, so it has actually calculated math. It has got a uh, it has got a mean score of 87.5. Right? This is another example which we have created where we have got uh, different columns, name, age, and city, right? And again, we are putting into another data frame. Let's execute this, and this is how you can see that okay, the data is spread right now. Uh, when you are dealing with data science programs, there are a lot of data cleansing that you have to do, and we'll talk about them in details. But some of the functions which should be known to you, I have listed them here. So maybe the missing values. So whenever you have got missing values, you have to, there are different ways to deal with them. You cannot leave the missing values in the data that you are passing to any machine learning model. It will actually lead to undesirable consequences. Your accuracy, the model, I mean, all those can go for a toss. So generally what the way we do it, in case if it is a numerical one, if the column is numerical and there are some missing values, maybe the frequently the number which is available in that data set most frequently, um, you can pick it up. That is called mode. I'm sure that you would have read it any in the statistics or economics at some point in time, even in maths. So mean, median, mode, all those things will come into the picture. Otherwise, you can also take an average and put the average and replace the null value with that, right? Similarly, you can actually replace the string literals with say unknown something, but it should not be null, right? And again, there can be different techniques. We'll talk about it once we reach to that level. But it is important that you know how the missing values are being treated. So here, what we are trying to do, how we are trying to figure out how many null values are existing in this data set. So it is calculating per column. So name has got one null, which is the row 5. Age has got two, uh, these two, Charlie, David, and then city has got one. Which one? Yeah, this one. Uh, yeah, yeah. And you see that nulls are represented because we are actually kind of printing here. But this is how they are represented when it is printed. Strings are called as none here at least. That's the string literal value, and nan when it is in the numerical form. So now what you can do, you can also actually drop some of these columns in case if the data set is huge, you can choose to drop it as well. Maybe you would say that, okay, I don't think that this is the right data because in the source system, some of these columns when they were defined earlier, they were allowing null, but actually business as per business, it should not be null. And since it is not following the business rules, it is okay to drop them. So let's go ahead and drop them. So we have what we have done. We have we are calling this function drop na wherever there is a null and we are using data frame and we are creating another data frame so that the parent data frame which has got all the values, it is not getting impacted. So now we have got all these rows. There are only three rows where there were no nulls. So if you look at this, this is the parent data frame, right? In case if you are taking away all the nulls, you're dropping it. So this row will go away. This row will go away. This row will go away. So in a way, while we are learning the concepts, I'm also trying to help you understand that how you will prepare your data before you actually pass it to the machine learning models. Uh, the other solution is that okay, here what we are trying to do, in case if there is anything which is I mean age is of course a number, right? So wherever there is a null, we are using this function fill na, right? And we are replacing it with the mean. Fill na means here fill the null values with what I mean you can give anything here. We are choosing the mean to be given here, right? Similarly, in the city, we are replacing unknown. I mean fill with sorry null with unknown and name with no name. So this is how we are trying to replace the null values. Let's look at it. So after replacing, how does it look like? So you see that all these values have gone away, and here we have got the mean. Here we have got no name and unknown. Again, I from the perspective of understanding the language, it's quite basic. But from machine learning standpoint, this is something which is pretty much mandatory. Uh, okay, so it is actually throwing a warning. This is a warning. This is not an error. And what it is saying that maybe the function that we are using is going to get deprecated in the future versions. So the code that we have written is not forward compatible. Uh, that means that the new versions forward compatible means when you are writing a code which will not work in the next version of Python, maybe the immediate one or maybe the subsequent one. And when we say that it is not backward compatible, that means that the previous versions of Python, uh, if you run the code, it will not work. So here there is a warning which has been issued, and you can take a corrective measure on top of it if you want to. Uh, Another thing that we need to make sure is that there should not be any duplicates, and it's very important that the duplicates are taken off because unnecessarily it will actually bring bias into the system. So you must remove all the see you can introduce your own bias in the machine learning models. Why, how, we'll talk about it later, but you can bring your own bias. But in case if there are any duplicates in the system or maybe the error values, maybe erroneous data, right, you have to get rid of them. So here what we are trying to do is to remove the duplicates, and let's see what will be the consequence. So I think one row has gone away, and let's see which one is actually a repetition. So we see that this particular row one and this one, right, New York one, it's a duplicate, so we have taken it off, and now this is the output. So the data is getting cleaner and cleaner. We have taken away from all the nulls. We have taken away the uh, the duplicates, right? And now we are printing here. We are printing the clean data. So no duplicates and there are no missing values. Uh, okay, so this is how you can actually manage and manipulate the data in data frames, right? Let me share this code with you in the chat window. I would want you to implement this and see how it works in your systems. I'm sharing this one by one, and And you can use the same approach the way I have done it, putting into multiple cells and execute each and every cell one by one and see how things are moving. If you put this in different cells, it sometimes it's easy to interpret. Yeah. Please start picking up this code and start executing. Rajesh, do you have Python and Anaconda installed on your system?
Yeah, Arun, I think it's there in my laptop, my son's laptop. So
Yeah, yeah. So will you be able to execute this? I mean, it will give you hang of how things are.
yeah,
If, yeah.
I'm somewhere else actually. So my
Okay.
laptop is at home. Yeah,
Okay, sure. So I'll provide this code snippet
yep,
anyways. I suggest that you execute this. I know that you will be coming from a different context, uh, but uh, we will shift the gears very quickly since we have got variety of participants here. So to start from the bottom, and then we'll go on the ladder. So soon we will actually be moving into where we will be implementing machine learning models. But before that, this groundwork needs to be done.
yeah,
Simran, how about you? I think you missed out the last class, Simran. So I'm not sure whether you have installed Python and Anaconda in your system.
No, no, because I'm taking classes from my official laptop. Will do it on my personal one.
Okay, okay. And I hope there is no issues with Yogita and team. You can install Anaconda on your system and you can execute this, right?
Yes, you're right.
Okay, okay, sure. This is very basic for you guys, I know, but let's just quickly execute this and so that we can move on. But Simran and Rajesh, while you are not able to execute this, please hold on to the concepts. What is that is required, right? We are kind of moving one by one towards how machine learning is going to get implemented.
yeah. Arun, if you can show that duplicate command, which you were showing the duplicate command,
Yeah,
removing the
sure.
duplicate.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
So
this one,
yeah,
this one. So the command is you mentioned this df under this we have to type manually. Yeah, it will, and the next one the print. This is a
yeah,
huge. I mean, do we
oh,
need
sorry.
to write this all this thing while?
Yeah, yeah, correct. We have to write it. I since it takes a lot of time in writing the code right in the class. So generally, what I do, I write the code and be ready for the classes. So this is something which you will be writing. This is a piece of code. This will be something like this, and then you will write it down, right? And you will call this function. So these are you can, of course, you can now generate this code using different LLMs, but at the
Mhm.
same time, this is the code that will get executed, and the developer traditionally they will write this bit by bit.
The whole the data frame after removing duplicate.
Yeah.
Okay, 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 okay.
So just so that you know that we have created this DF, which is a data frame, right? Where we have defined the data frame and initialize it with some values, and it actually has got a function drop duplicates. So it is dropping the duplicates, and we are
The-
populating another data frame with a
the-
name df no duplicates.
No duplicates. Okay,
Yeah, and then we are printing it.
and then we print. Okay, the next one.
So this is the output.
Yep, got it.
Okay. I hope uh, others have executed this. So
Yeah, executed my side.
okay. Okay, sure. All right. Thank you so much, Dheeraj. So we can move on in that case. Now, I was referring to this part that okay, most of the times the way it is going to take place is that you will have a data source from where you will be getting the data, and you will be populating the data frames, right? Not like the way we have initialized it. So this is an example where we are reading from a CSV file, uh, Excel file for you, Rajesh, uh, which is separated with some delimiters. It can be comma. That's how the CSVs were defined, right? So people update is
Okay.
the file which is we are trying to read, right? And then we are printing. So let's just execute this. If you see, people update dot. I mean, since this is the path which is given. It is in the same folder where the script is written. So it is important that a lot many times when you're dealing with the uh, files, the path, when you how you specify it, right, and also the special characters that you use in it. For those who actually have done a lot of development, they know that okay, the forward slash, backslash, right, they have got their own different ways to deal with, and you got to be careful with them. I think in case if you use a way to when you are practicing, in case if you are uploading a file into your data frame, this is a place where you can get stuck, where because you will not be able to handle the path, and that's where you're going to be careful. In case if you get stuck, you can ask for help. So here what we have done, people update.csv, and this is the easiest way to deal with. Put the file in the same folder. All you need to do is to just refer it by name. Otherwise, you have to you can give a relative path. You can give a fully qualified path as well. Again, completely dependent on the way you want to write a code. Generally, when we are implementing these such kind of things in corporate world, when the solution needs to be structured, that's where we use relative path, because then you cannot hard code do any kind of hard coding. And when we are moving the source code um, from dev environment to a different environment, the structure also gets copied. This is how, I mean, you develop the production environment or the test environment. So it is important that you keep the path a relative one, right? So this is has been created, and we are printing the data frame. So now we have got this data frame where we have got different folks, uh, their age, city, salary, right? Now let's look at some other functions. Here we are picking up. So Pandas also provide another function which is called series. Up till now, what we have done, we have uh, we have handled how the data frames are handled, right? But in real sense, what is going to happen? You will actually pick up what you need to do. You need to actually manipulate the value which is there in the cell. And how do you do it? First, you reach out to that worksheet. I mean, in case if you are referring to Excel, right? You reach out to that file, you reach out to that worksheet, then you reach out to that particular row or column, and then you pick up the value. So this is how it works. So here there is another object, there is another class which is available in data frames, which is series. And series, using series, you can either pick up columns or you can pick up rows. So it's a collection of data, right? So here we are picking up what is there in the series. I mean, what is there in the age. We are putting this into a particular series by the name age series, right? And then we are printing it. and also trying to call out what is the type, what is the data type of this particular column. So if you see, it has actually picked up the age from this particular data frame. Now only we are focusing on this particular column, right? And the column data type is integer 64. Uh, Similarly, in case if you want to find out the mean or the max of the series, that also you can do using the functions which are available in the series data type. So here, using mean and max, this is how you are calculating. Please note that you are now you are using in a way, in terms of hierarchy, you are using a lower object. First, it was frames, data frames, which is a larger object. In a way, you can call it as a parent object. And beneath that, in terms of hierarchy, you're using series, data series, right? And you're dealing with one particular set of attributes. So here we are dealing with the with age, and we are calling these functions mean, max, and then let's see how the average can be calculated. So here we are calculating the average salary, and specifically where if the people are if they belong to city Delhi. So here this is how you give the criteria. I'll provide this code to you so that you can actually play around. But for the timing, please try to understand that, okay, how it is happening. How you so first, the way we have done it, we populated data into a data frame. Then we are trying to figure out which column we need to treat differently. I mean, here we want to deal with age, and we would want to pick up the mean and max, something of that sort, right? And then we are also trying to put some selection criteria, that okay, in case if we are dealing with this particular column, uh, and we want only specific attributes to get to qualify that particular row which you are picking up, right? So here we are saying that okay, Delhi is the criteria, and if you look at the data here, right? So oh, okay, so we have got only one person who is from Delhi, right? So in case if we had more, we definitely uh, there could have been a different mean, but in any case, this guy will be picked up, and the salary, since there is only one person, the average will be calculated based on that. But imagine that you had multiple data, multiple rows, multiple people with the city Delhi, or maybe some other city, and you're applying a constraint on top of it. So here we are putting a constraint, right? You are putting up a selection criteria, and this is how the average is calculated. Okay, I hope this is clear. Again, a very basic start to how you deal with data frames, how you deal with series. Uh, any doubts? Let me stop sharing for a minute, right, and check how are you doing it. Is this okay? Are we going too slow or too fast?
Going fine, Arun, I think.
Okay, 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 sure. Okay, Yogita, you want to say something? You unmuted yourself.
The speed is okay now. We are
Okay,
not
sure.
too fast and not too slow.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. So let's move on. In case if we have understood these concepts, let's move on how the visualization is done, right? And again, we will stick to those libraries which are absolutely important for us to understand how the machine learning. I mean, the data scientists generally they use. So let me start with Let me start with the theoretical part first, and then we'll move on to the implementation. Yeah, I think we all understand the importance of data visualization. In case if you look at the data which is in the form of visuals rather than in numbers or printed values, right? It will lead to a different impression, right? You can easily comprehend, you can retain what was there in the data, right? And you can take a better decision. So it's important. I mean, it is already very well qualified that data, if it is in the available in the visualization form, you can take good decisions on top of it. So if you look at this, this is what, and incidentally it's a very interesting data as well, right? Here we are calling it out that what was the funding level which different countries have done in AI. Now if you look at this, the immediate inference that I will carry with me is that India is not listed in this. US is kind of it is at this point in time, it is almost, it is funding the 93% of the overall in funding which is going into AI. So no wonder uh, US is much ahead in the game. I mean, not much ahead. I think they already are. Most of the products are coming from this this country because the funding, because of the leadership that they have actually shown in AI, and that's why there is such a big lead that they have. Right? So not even in the top. That's how, that's the interpretation. I mean, that's the irony. But at the same time, look at it from a visualization standpoint, and if you are presenting it to your stakeholders, how easy it is for them to comprehend and take some meaning out of it. So if you present it to leadership in India, maybe they will also take some cues out of it, and they can take some decisions. So I mean, we all understand that how, what is the importance of visualization, and this is how, when we have data, uh, one essential part, and yeah, so one of the essential part as a data scientist is that you need to know how to deliver a story on top of data. So data storytelling is one of the essential part of the job that a data scientist performs, right? Lot many times the same thing is applicable for data analyst as well, not a developer, but for data analyst, right? So data analyst will pick up the data, will dissect it, will try to understand, okay, what are the different elements that are there in the data, and what are the different matrices which are important, what are the KPIs, right? And then take it to the leadership team and say that, okay, this is what I believe, the way I am presenting it, that India is not even in the top 10, right? So that's why it becomes very important when you are working on machine learning models, when you're working on, and as a part of machine learning, you also will become data analyst. That is a byproduct, right? And in a way, data analyst is the first ladder. Then the next is data science. You start with the understanding of data, and implementing algorithms is the next level. But you need to know how the data is spread, and that's where the domain understanding comes into the picture, and that's where Rajesh and Sohail, right? You will be much ahead in the game, because you, in your own respective fields, you will be the custodian of the data, right? What you are doing in banking industry, Sohail, you're dealing
Yeah.
with different customers, their grievances, something that comes from RBI, you implement as SEBI, you implement them, and then there are some sentiments, some challenges, some issues, right? So you understand
Right,
those
right.
data in and out, right? I have seen you personally that how you capture the data and then you take it to your leadership. So this is exactly the data scientists or the data analysts are expected to do. So uh, while we keep on calling that this is a technical field, because you come from data background, you already have an edge. So you know that your data well. And in case if you get the power of implementing different algorithms on top of it, your power will amplify. And trust me, if you are coming from a domain, the domain expertise along with data science, I think that's a very, very powerful option, right? So I think here you have an edge. And when we will
Great.
go into the
That's yeah.
data, yeah, when we will go into the data side, you will start understanding, okay, what does it mean? Right? Okay, so
Got it.
we will try to cover Matplotlib, Seaborn, and Plotly. These are three different libraries, right? And we'll try to see which one to use where. I think we will not be covering the all these libraries. We'll cover Matplotlib, and we'll see if we can cover Seaborn as well. So just a quick understanding of Matplotlib. So Matplotlib is a library which is the oldest one in the stack. At the same time, Matplotlib gives you a lot of control on the grain level. So in a way, if you have to manipulate and you need a lot of control on the data, how it is going to get represented, that's where the Matplotlib comes into the picture. Seaborn actually has been built on top of Matplotlib. So in a way, some special functionality and some nuances which are there in Matplotlib, there you don't have to care about it. So it's a advanced form of Matplotlib, um, and it offers certain functions which are absolutely must for you. So when you get into this side, when you have to create visualization, of course you can create visualization using Power BI and other such kind of tools. But lot many times when you're dealing with organizations that do not want to spend time money on such kind of tools, and they ask you to develop a code which is in terms of money, I mean, it is it is very lightweight. So wherever you can use open source, please go ahead and use it. You will get into such kind of situations as well, specifically when you are into the retail market, when you're dealing with very small customers. So they will not be able to afford all those corporate level tools. So that's where these libraries will come into the picture because they are open source. So you don't have to pay for to anybody. Now, when you are creating these visuals, you can use Matplotlib, you can use Seaborn. Most of the times, what I have seen based on my experience, Seaborn is something that you should know. Seaborn, the functionality which is available is good enough for you to manage the data storytelling, which we were talking about. And you probably don't have to go into Matplotlib. But since Seaborn is a has been created on top of Matplotlib, it is important for us to also understand Matplotlib from a theoretical standpoint. And then there is another library which is Plotly, which is kind of 3D. So these libraries, Seaborn, Matplotlib is a 2D. They are 2D libraries, and Plotly is much more interactive. So in case if you create a graph or chart and you want to zoom in, zoom out, you want to rotate it, see it from different perspectives, right? All those possibilities are there in Plotly, which is not there in Seaborn and Matplotlib. So this is a quick introduction. I think apart from that, you also need to understand certain aspects when you are working on visualization. So you create plots. Plots are nothing but container elements. You can assume that where you will be placing your visuals. Uh, this is specifically with Matplotlib, and Matplotlib has got a very unique use case where, in case if you are going into the publication, um, something that you want to go into the prints, right? And maybe you are writing a journal or you're writing a paper, and you want to reach to the grain level. That is where Matplotlib comes into the picture. Otherwise, most of the cases we can use Seaborn. Again, all these libraries are object oriented. So you can create, you can import them, you can create objects out of it, and you can use them. There are a lot of customization possible. Matplotlib will allow you to have much more customization because it runs at the grain level. Seaborn will have some limitations in terms of having those customization in place. Again, as we're calling it out, in case if you are looking for publication quality numbers and the presentation, this is where the Matplotlib will come into the picture. Different types of charts that you can create: lines, scatter bar, right? So this is a representation. This is something which you can create. I'm running quickly on this because I think most of these things are already known to you. Ask me to stop in case if I'm going too fast. Different elements when you're putting a visual on the UI. If you're creating a bar chart, say for example, you will have to customize the chart title. You have to have some access. You also want to call out what are the series. Then you have a legend, so that using legend, people can interpret what you actually are, what this chart represents. Similarly, the way you do it in Excel, you can plot different charts and you can save them as well. Within, you can have subplots so that you can do some kind of comparison. I mean, plots again are placeholders where you can put these visuals. So you can have multiple such kind of placeholders where you can put multiple visuals, and in case if you want to do a comparison, or typically in the dashboards that you will create for your stakeholders, there are multiple charts that you generally you show, right? So here we will there is a provision to have subplots. Then the styling, say for example, the color here, the grid here, the color of line, right? All these things you can do in Seaborn and Matplot, just like any other tool that you will use, Excel, Power BI, or something of that sort. Uh, okay, so what we can do now, we can actually go into the code and see how this is being implemented. Uh, we are I think by now we are familiar with the syntax that we are trying to import the necessary libraries which are required. We already have, so in a way, we are also trying to bring a convergence. We have, so far we have understood what is NumPy, we have understood what is Pandas, right? So we will be using them and extend our understanding by bringing these two libraries into play as well. So Matplotlib, C1, let's see what they offer. Now here what we have done, a NumPy, so random seed, in a way, so what we are trying to do, when you use random function, I'm sure that for the developers it is already known, but for Sohail and Rajesh, when you use random function, it actually helps you to generate random numbers. Sometimes those are required. And when we use
Yeah.
one or something of that sort, what it does, it actually has, you are providing the ability to uh, though the numbers will be random, but every time you run it, the same numbers will be generated. So
Oh,
here we are trying to create a series with the name months, right? And it will start from 2024 January. There will be 12 periods, right? And the syntax we are defining here. So in a way, it is Jan, Feb, the way it is printed. I mean, sometimes when you create visuals, you use Jan, February, different months to represent, right? So a particular format has been specified. Let's run this, and then we have got this data frame which we are creating, and then we're trying to identify, okay, what is the average. So here we have got two different products, and we are bringing the product sales, month-wise product sales, and month-wise budget that we are spending on these products, and we are putting everything into a data frame, and then we are trying to calculate the total sales and total budget or average budget which was spent, right? And creating a data frame on top of it. So let's see how it goes. Oh, 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 oh. think let's use 0. Oh, sorry. I think I did not execute this. It should not be 0. It should be 1 only. Let's keep it like this. I did not give attention to the error. It actually was calling it out that it's not able to understand what is NP. Rather, I thought, okay, maybe there is a function with the problem with the seed. So this is what has been done. So we have created a data frame which has got different columns: product A sales, product B sales, budget, right? And for the different months. And then we have got total sales and total sorry, average ad budget. So this is the data frame that has been created, right? Now we have used almost everything that we have learned so far. Now let's take this understanding forward. Let's now bring Matplotlib into the picture. So what we are trying to do here, let's understand. Uh, uh, there are different functions which we are calling, and they're not difficult. They're easy. Just pay attention to the details here. Here, the first thing that we are trying to do is to assign what will be the size where this particular figure will be, or the visual will be created. So it's 10 inches into 5 inches kind of thing that is being called out here. Then we are plotting. uh, every chart will have different axis, y-axis, x-axis. So we are defining those parts, right? And also when you are dealing with different series, what are the markers? So we'll show you how the markers play an important role, right? Then we are putting a title, right? Of course, X labels we are putting, right? And then we are also applying a grid behind it. And then there are legend. Legend we already have spoken, so the legend will also show up. And so I'll talk about xticks with the demonstration once this chart is displayed. And we are using tight layout. So this function helps you to make sure that since we are using so many objects, there is we are ensuring that there is no overlap. It should not actually crisscross kind of thing should not happen. So the tight layout ensures that that is being taken care of. And then finally we're showing the plot. So let's run this quickly. Yeah. So here we have got two different data series. We specified, okay, sales units, these. So and also we specified the month. These are the two different axes where it has been defined here, right? We have given X label, Y label. And then if you look at the, we have specified legend here. So legend is coming out here. We have specified the title, which is monthly sales, which is appearing here. All right. And the size and everything, the way you do it in Word or Excel, the same thing is applicable here too. It's just that you have to write that code in Excel. You can use different functions which are available in the standard bar. Uh, then we spoke about that these are two different data series. One is for product A sales, another is for product B sales. You are using different markers. O for this one, square for this one. See, all I'm trying to say here is look at the way you actually can manipulate this. Uh, the kind of abilities this library allows you to customize the visual, right? So there can be some unique requirement, and people who are already in the implementation business, they know that, okay, how the end users can request or can interact with you, and they ask things which are, I mean, which are relevant for them. But sometimes for you, a different representation is sufficient, but for them maybe they are looking for something else. So all I'm trying to say here with this particular piece of code, that there is a lot of customization which is possible, right? And this is how you do it. uh, I also picked up xticks rotation 45. So what we are trying to do here is this one. So this label we have printed in 45-degree, and how the Jan Feb three literals are coming into the picture. I mean only the three alphabets, because we have specified the format here. We have specified the format here that it should be taking up Jan Feb kind of thing, because here we have got numbers. Numbers have been translated into alphabets. So this is typically how you have to deal with the data, right? And again, people who are already in the implementation cycle, they know that okay, this is very basic. But it is also important for you to understand. I mean, specifically for those who are coming from the business side, that this is the effort that goes into when there are certain visuals, certain demonstrations the dev team do in front of you, right? So I'm sure that you now understand that okay, there are so many lines of code probably that they have to write to make sure that the requirements that come from business side, they are being handled. Okay, let me move on further. Another example. Let me execute this directly. So here, this was a line chart. This is a histogram, right? Where we have implemented two different graphs, two different subplots. One is for ad A and budget A and budget B, right? Advertisement that you're doing for the first product and for the second product. Again, you see that okay, it is appearing fine. Let's go ahead, and now you may want that okay, on top of it, on top of these bars, you need the numbers. So it is difficult to understand, say for this, between this 30 and 25, it is 27, 28. What is the number, right? Of course there is a visual representation, but between 35, the different skills, what are the numbers that you have? So we will annotate it, and for annotating uh, we have to put some effort. So we'll quickly talk about it. So what has been actually done, we are running a for loop here, and we are calculating the height of the bar, uh, every bar, literally, right? And then giving some space in addition to on top of, I mean, once we have identified what is the height, some more space, and then we are printing the value. So this is again the idea is to let you know that okay, this is the level of customization is possible. So in case if you want these numbers to be in the middle of it, you can do that. If you want slightly above, you can do that too. Again, depending on the kind of expectation and the way you want to represent this in front of your stakeholders. So this is about Matplotlib. I think let me do this. Let me share this code snippet because this is important for you to run, and we'll see how the execution goes. I'm sharing this with you in the chat window. Please go ahead and execute this. And in case Matplotlib and Seaborn is not installed in your system, please use the command pip install for Matplotlib and Seaborn.
Arun, it's a kind of BI tool only, right?
Uh, sorry. Yeah. Rajesh, please say that again.
It's like a BI tool only, right? Which kind of
Uh,
or not?
no, no, no. So
Okay.
this is we are dealing at the language level as of now,
Okay.
Rajesh.
Okay.
So BI
Yeah.
tool typically you can call it as Power BI is one such tool. ClickView is another one.
Yeah.
Tableau is another one, right? No, we are not at that level. We are just dealing with the basics, where we are dealing with how the data has to be managed. So once you reach this level, we can get into the different libraries in machine learning. And before that, we also need to spend some time how the data actually is supposed to be manipulated. Then your ability to handle machine learning, it will get sharpened, and then you can actually go on to the algorithms and implement them. So that is the idea,
Yep.
Rajesh. Yeah.
Yep.
Uh,
Perfect, man.
I think Yogita, you had a point.
Yes. Instead of sharing the code in a chat, can you share the file, the whole file?
Yeah, I can do that too. Can do that too.
Much easier.
Yeah, I can do that too. Let me. Where is it? Where I have saved it? Okay, it is in the notebooks root folder. Yeah, sure. Uh, no, it's not working. Mm, okay, maybe it is not letting me do this, but oh, why it is not letting me share the file? You mind if I share this through WhatsApp? Will that be okay?
Yeah, yeah, sure.
But it actually generally allows you to add files. Why it is not working
Yeah.
out?
Click on the plus icon.
And this is interesting. It has got different options. Maybe I have to explore, but it's very odd.
It is not allowing to add the
Yeah,
share the
yeah,
files.
yeah.
Can you please try drag and drop?
I did that, Muskan. That
Oh,
that
okay.
was the first thing that I did. It was Muskan, right? I
Yeah,
I
yeah.
I, I actually that's why I actually so it's not working out
Oh,
doing
okay.
this, unfortunately. But I let me do this on WhatsApp. It should work. So
Doesn't
where
allow, I
is
think, or there are another organization, na?
uh, I I think maybe the kind of subscription that we have on Teams,
Yeah,
maybe
because
I don't
different
know.
organizations, na? There are different organizations, so it doesn't allow some extensions there.
Okay, okay,
Mm.
okay. Okay, understood. Here the organization is being handled by me, so I was wondering what actually has happened. So who has applied that rule? Yeah, so it's available on your WhatsApp now. Uh,
Thank you, Arun, for sharing.
yeah, so please execute this and at least this particular portion. Let's execute and see how it is working out. I understand, Rajesh, you will not be able to execute this, and but I request. So there are few requests that I have. We are running in a very fast manner for some of you, and for some of you, it is actually a very slow speed. Uh, uh, but we have to find the right balance. At the same time, for those it's who are assuming that okay, we are going very fast, please make sure that you're implementing and you're not getting distracted into multiple things. So my suggestion is that when you are getting into these sessions, please make sure that your camera is on. I do not want that you are getting distracted. It is, trust me, why we are when we learn through different uh, uh, YouTube videos, tutorials, there is so much available, but lot many times we struggle with them because um, it gives you a power of plug and play. When you want to start it, when you want to study it, right, you can do that and you can stop it. And it impacts your learning abilities. So when you are in these classes, because you are putting a lot of effort uh, and you're trying to upskill yourself, please try to make sure that you're not getting distracted. And one of the best ways to make sure that you are actually putting your camera on and be ready. That's what my learning is. I'm also into, I'm also new into virtual tutorials. And I am realizing this that in case if you are attending these without your camera on, you are bound to get distracted. Okay, anyways, please execute this and let me know once you're done.
Arun sir, file is executed.
All right. Okay. So Dheeraj, it worked fine for you, right?
Yeah.
And Dheeraj, do you think that you can actually change certain parameters and play around with these visuals?
Not yet,
Okay. But
but I
but
do.
since the code is
I will do.
available, yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I think that is the idea, Dheeraj. So if you are able to reach to that level where you are able to execute and you can change some parameters here and there,
Yeah, yeah, sure,
uh,
sure.
yeah. I just need one more yes. I think then that should be sufficient for us to know that okay, things have worked out. Anybody who has faced a problem, let's talk about the problems so that we can troubleshoot them as well. Simran, you are not playing. Okay, Muskan, Harsh, Laksh. Yogita, did it work for you?
I'm working on it.
Okay, sure. Thank you.
I'm done with my practice.
Okay. I think if
Just
that is the
done
case,
also.
yeah. So no
My
issues,
end.
right, Yogita?
Yes, no
Okay,
issue.
great. So I think we can stop here. Uh, uh, so we have covered a couple of libraries on the basics, how the data is supposed to be handled, how the variables are supposed to be handled. Then we have covered one library on the visualization. We'll cover two libraries more in the subsequent one, and I think some bit of OOPs are supposed to be covered. I have not been doing that traditionally. I actually, once the visualization is done, I actually move on to the data side, and then we start uh, dealing with data from different perspectives. And then eventually, once these two steps are done, we actually move into machine learning. So maybe the next class will be structured up a bit differently. We definitely will cover these aspects, but some additional aspects with respect to the business we will try to cover. And most likely, I will also try to bring a low code, no code tool um, where you can create machine learning models using uh, simple visuals rather than writing piece of code. You can use it. You can use drag and drop functionalities. Uh, so some part of the effort that is required in writing the piece of code uh, can go away for business users specifically, and for those who are on the development side, right? They will also get a hang of how the low code no code works and how they can actually generate Python code on top of it. So that also is there is a provision available. So I think we'll bring those elements into the picture, and then we'll take it from there. But thank you so much for your time. I know that attendance was very thin today, but I'm hoping that in the subsequent class, and I think we also changed these timings, and I think Yogita and you and I had to have a conversation with respect to the availability. We'll talk about it, and just wanted to make sure that maybe this week or the week after, we have a very standard hour where we are meeting and trying to upskill ourselves. All right, thank you so much. With that, I'll sign off, and you have a good Sunday, rest of the Sunday. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Arun.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank
Thank
you,
you. Bye
Arun.
bye.
Thank you,
Bye bye.
everyone.
Thanks. Bye.
Thank you, team.
Goodbye, team.
आगे हेलो, ये देखो ये दोनों आपको हेलो करने के लिए बैठ गए, साथ में ये भी है। आपकी आवाज नहीं आ रही है।
Such a nice surprise. Wow, wow. And remote से किरण भी है. Hello, hello, hello. So sweet. हाँ, हाँ.
हेलो बोलो।
आपको पता है मैं कौन हूँ? नहीं, मेरा नाम अरुण है.
व्हाट्स योर नेम? व्हाट्स योर नेम?
अ, अ,
योर
किरण
नेम
ड्रॉप हो गई?
है?
किरण ड्रॉप हो गई?
हाँ किरण ड्रॉप हो गई।
अच्छा, okay. Yes, yes. Tell me what's your name?
I'm Amira.
Amira. Wow.
व्हाट्स योर नेम?
That's a very sweet name. Amira.
व्हाट्स योर नेम? वैसे तो ये चटर चटर चलती है।
अगर अगर ये नाम नहीं बताएगी तो उसका नाम हम लोग गिलहरी रख देंगे. बहुत स्वीट है दोनों.
मेरे पे गई है ना।
ओके.
उनको मैं स्क्रीन शेयर कर रही हूँ।
हाँ, श्योर श्योर श्योर.
दिखी?
हाँ, दिखे दिखे. मेरे को बहुत प्यारी लग रही है ये. मेरा फोकस टोटली उस तरफ है.
हाँ तो फिर आप उनको बढ़ा लो, मैं बाद में आता।
ठीक है, ओके. स्क्रीन शेयर कर फिर तो अपनी. हाँ,
कर दी।
स्क्रीन देखनी गई मेरे को. हाँ, ठीक
दिखी
है.
ना।
ओके.
अब ये देखो, ये मैंने पाइथन ये करा तो है इंस्टॉल पैकेज।
नहीं, अच्छा एक काम कर, इसको छोड़ दे दो. ब्राउजर पे जा.
यार ये क्या है मैक?
हाँ,
आंख नहीं रहा है।
तो एप्पल यूज कर रही है.
यस।
वाह, वाह.
बड़े
एप्पल वालों को क्या
लोग
जरूरत है?
बड़ी बात है।
हाँ, एप्पल वालों को क्या जरूरत है? हाँ, पाइथन सीखने की. अच्छा, ठीक है. ओके, एक और ब्राउजर विंडो खोल लें. हाँ, ठीक है. कैन यू? हाँ, यहाँ पे लिख रहे हैं कि डाउनलोड एनाकोंडा. एनाकोंडा. हाँ, फॉर मैक. आई थिंक फॉर मैक आएगा ना. हाँ,
हाँ।
फॉर मैक. क्योंकि मैं तो अभी तक विंडोज ही करता आया हूँ, तो
ये एनाकोंडा डॉट
हाँ,
कॉम।
हाँ, हाँ, हाँ. करेक्ट. यस.
गेट स्टार्टेड।
नहीं नहीं, फ्री डाउनलोड. एक मिनट, एक्सेप्ट ऑल कर. नीचे जा थोड़ा सा. और ठीक है, ऊपर चलते हैं एक बार. ये कुछ अलग ही आ रहा है. फ्री डाउनलोड है, गेट एक्सेस. हाँ, गेट स्टार्टेड करते हैं. ठीक है. मे बी इट विल आस्क. हाँ, गूगल से लॉगिन कर लें अगर.
अच्छा ये वो करना पड़ेगा मुझे।
एक बार बैक कर जरा. आई थिंक इट शुड अलाउ यू, क्योंकि गूगल यूज कर रही है ना, तो इस पर गूगल से लॉगिन है.
हाँ
हाँ, तो
हाँ
होना चाहिए था इसको. होना चाहिए था. हाँ. यस.
डाउनलोड
हाँ,
फॉर मैक एंड डिस्ट्रीब्यूट
हाँ.
क्या करना है इसमें
यस
से?
यस. फिर इसमें मैक वाला जो डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन है ना, लेफ्ट वाला. हाँ,
हम्म।
हाँ, ये वाला इंस्टॉल करना है. एप्पल सिलिकॉन. हाँ, ठीक है. ओके.
ये
वैसे
सारे
आई डोंट
करने
नो
हैं
कि
ना?
एक एक से काम चल जाएगा. मैं ये देख रहा हूँ कि कौन सा है एप्लीकेबल. आई डोंट नो. कमांड लाइन पहला वाला कर ले.
ग्राफिकल।
हाँ,
ये तो
हमें
सबसे पहले
ग्राफिकल.
मैंने यही करा है, हो तो रहा है यहाँ पे।
ओके, ठीक है. अगर हो गया तो फिर गुड.
इंस्टॉल फॉर ऑल यूजर्स
हाँ,
कर देगा। इसका पासवर्ड क्या है भाई? वेरी गुड। मैं तो पासवर्ड ही भूल गई इसका।
एक बार, अच्छा ये तो खैर एक बार
क्या?
कैंसिल कर देखिए, एक स्टेप पीछे जाना पड़ेगा, कैंसिल कर देगी तो रुक जाएगा ये।
नहीं, पासवर्ड तो फिर भी चाहिए तो सही मुझे यार। ये पास दीपक, मेरे मैक का पासवर्ड क्या है? अब इसको मैं पासवर्ड को रीसेट करके यही वाला इंस्टॉल करना है ना?
एक मिनट, हाँ कैंसिल कर दे एक बार और कैंसिल कर, एक बार पीछे जा, कोड इन क्लाउड। अच्छा हुआ ही नहीं है, पीछे जाने का कोई तरीका दिख नहीं रहा है मेरे को।
हाँ, ये मैं करती हूँ। ठीक
हाँ
है,
ठीक है, बस इससे हो जाएगा,
ठीक है,
इससे हो जाएगा।
ठीक है, ठीक है।
और एक
थैंक
काम
यू।
करना, एक ना
बोलो।
बेसिक ट्यूटोरियल यूट्यूब पे ढूंढ लेना एनाकोंडा के लिए, बेसिक 3 या
ठीक।
4 मिनट का, ज्यादा का नहीं, 3-4 मिनट में हो जाएगा वो सॉर्ट आउट। ठीक है,
ठीक है,
ठीक
ठीक
है,
है।
चल ठीक है,
ओके,
ऑलराइट,
बाय।
ओके,
थैंक
टेक केयर, थैंक्स, बाय।